Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. On this episode, per a viewer request, we are going to be looking at Poland 39, The Nightmare Begins, from Command Magazine. Came out in 1992. I believe this is issue number 17, if I remember correctly, from the XTR Corporation. Designed by Ty Bomba. Okay. Now, just as the title says, this is a game that focuses on the first campaign of the Second World War, the German attack on Poland. So you may be asking yourself, wait a minute, what's this got to do with what-if scenarios? Well, I'll tell you what it's got to do with what-if scenarios. In this game, there are a couple of scenarios you can play that are just that are what-if. And the what-if scenario that I'm looking at here and reinitiating for this video is one of two. This first one comes with the game itself, and it's basically a what-if Stalin had either double-crossed Hitler or, had a last-minute change of heart and was like, yeah, you know what, I don't want Hitler being right on my doorstep too close to me, and decided to join the Poles. Okay, and the Baltic states as well too, Latvia and Lithuania joining into the fray here against Poland, or with Poland, I should say, against Germany. So that is the what-if scenario we're looking at here. Now there is a second what-if scenario, but you need issue number 19 of Command Magazine. I'm pretty sure it's number 19. Yeah, the Port Arthur issue. It has some variant counters and another variant where the Soviets get some other units. Particularly, the big thing they get are some more mechanized corps that are a little more nimble, than some of the stuff that they have here, and a lot more mechanized units. And there's also an Estonian unit too. Okay. So I'm probably not going to look at that. I'm probably just going to stick with what we have in front of us here and go from there. Okay. So just to give you a quick overview here. Polish units are white, German units, there's the green units, those are the foot sloggers, and then there is the white on black, looking really cool, or as somebody commented on Board Game Geek, looking real bad, beep. I do my own beeping here on Bare Bones, so we're so bare we don't have money for a buzzer. So looking really cool, in my opinion. And then over here, of course, all these gold guys, trying to deceive people, I guess, are the Soviet units, and then up here, the aqua looking ones are the Baltic states. For those of you who played Ty Bomba's games before, this is pretty standard as far as approach and stuff. There are a couple little quirky things about the game that I'll kind of mention here ahead of time, because as usual on my show, I like to just basically jump in. I like the immersive process. It's just my stuff. One thing that's very interesting, and I want to actually read this to you from the rulebook itself, verbatim, about enemy zones of control, because this might blow some of your war game minds. It blew mine when I first read it. After I first read this sentence, I went, Reggie? Because you just don't see this. You ready? Here it comes. Okay. Enemy zone and supply. The mere presence of an enemy zone of control in hex does not prohibit your supply lines from being traced into. Well, okay, we know this. That's not a big deal, but here comes the kicker. Or through that hex. So you can trace supply lines through an enemy zone of control here. Yeah. I guess it's kind of an Austin Powers moment, perhaps. Right. So, keep that in mind here, okay, as we're playing the game. The other big thing here is that the German black units, if you will, the back and black units, they have mobile assault. They have their blitzkrieg ability. There's a whole section of rules about what they can do, and we're about to unleash them here in a few moments, so you'll see what that's all about as well. The other thing I thought I'd point out about this is something that is very atypical today for wargame magazines. Check out the map, though. Look, there's basically nothing on the map but the map. The only thing is way down here at the bottom. Tilt it just a little bit. We have a terrain key. But, it was interesting when I pulled this out, because we're so used to, having charts and tables on our magazine games anymore nowadays that I was just like, whoa, look at that. This one's got the name of the game and the terrain effects, and that's it. Everything else is the map. So, okay. Now, victory conditions are changed. If you ever want to play this normally, quote unquote, historically, basically the Germans have to defeat the Poles without losing X amount of steps. So it is a challenge in that sense here. But this one, all bets are off. No one cares about losses. The only thing that matters is the Germans win by the end of game turn 20. That's right, you heard it right, 20. By taking over control of every single town, city, and fort hex on the map. So that means they're going to have to come all the way over here to Zitomir and Minsk and Vilno and Kaunas as well too to win this thing. So the Germans definitely have their work cut out for them. All right. So enough gab. Let's get moving. One other thing I want to mention about the game, I guess, is that be careful if you play this too. Make sure that you carefully study on the historical special rules, because there's a lot of things that the Poles cannot do, and the Germans can't do for that matter either, during the opening turn. Okay, so you kind of have to remember that, because it does kind of limit things on that opening turn. After that, the only thing that's really different in the what-if scenario is the German air units are actually not available until turn 2, which is a problem, because starting turn 10, you got to start shifting them to the west. So you got to get this thing done. Okay, so let's do it, as Tone Loc would say in the 80s. All right. So each turn is pretty basic. So the Germans withdrawal phase, that doesn't start until actually turn 7, so actually pulling some people out on turn 7. And then we got the movement and mobile assault phase for the Germans here. Okay, so what I'm thinking about here, after studying how I managed to redeploy my Poles, I've been trying to look for what is the weakest link. And I think what I'm going to do with most of my Panzers, I don't know what to do with these guys up here, because they're out here, they're hanging out here. I might want to cut them back behind here and isolate these guys so they'll be destroyed, because I really can't do an overrun on the fortifications. I'm pretty sure I cannot do a mobile assault on the fortifications. Let me double check and see. I know terrain wise for sure you can't do it in mountains, you can't do it in swamps. Yeah, can't launch in the mountains or swamp hexes. Can't launch during turn 1, that I knew. And can't attack again during the regular thing. Interesting. You know what? I'm not seeing anything that you can't do it into a fortification hex. Wow. That's a little surprising. Okay. Well, in that case, maybe I will try to dash up there and grab one of those fortification hexes with the German Panzer units. Okay. Well, the reason I'm starting this on turn 2, by the way, too, is that's when the Russians can start actually moving, and they come into the game. And the Latvians and Lithuanians do as well, too. Okay, so cannot do mobile assault into mountain or any of that kind of terrain, but I could go down here. So let's start down here. I got to pay, now mobile assaults, you have to pay triple the terrain cost when you move into the hex that you're assaulting, and it costs you 2 extra movement points to exit an enemy zone of control. Not move into, but exit. So every time you leave, you got to do that. See, I just don't know if I can really get those guys. I don't know if I should just use them together with these mountain troops and try to bust that open. Maybe that would be a better idea, but I hate to lose time. Time is of the essence, as Napoleon said. I may lose a man, but never a moment of time. Well, actually, the whole quote is, "Go, sir, and gallop. And remember, the world was made in 6 days. You may ask anything you like of me, except time." Alright. Well, let's do the math here. Yeah, let's do the math here first. So, let's see. This would be 4. That would be 6 to leave. 8. Yeah, see, that would be 11 because it would be triple the cost. I can't do that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and we're just going to move these guys here and basically combine with these guys and I think with this Slovak unit to bust loose here. So these guys I'm going to have to try and bash my way into here because in this game their units are never removed for being out of supply. They can be out of supply indefinitely. So yeah, you gotta beat them down. It's like, you know, it's like some of the games that you play, and actually Bomba's games, Barbarossa Deluxe is one that you basically have to reduce the pockets. You just can't, you know, surround them and, oh, no supply, they go away. Don't work that way. Alright, so let's move these guys. So this is rough terrain here. So this is 2, 4. We'll slide them up. Ugh. That's the only bad thing about this game is the counters are nice and big. But gosh, there's not a whole lot of space here. Okay. Whoops. Alright, move these guys forward to here so that they can help attack. And let's see, going to leap these guys up into this gap here, if nothing else, to tie down some of these folks as they, to keep them engaged. Alright, now, I'm debating which panzer group to start with here. This one's kind of weak. It is. But they don't start in enemy zone of control. But I guess I can exit enemy zone of control and go this way if I want. So, alright, let's try to use this powerful spearhead first. And then we're going to try and get behind the lines here. And, you know, basically, well, you know what? That doesn't even matter. There's no retreats in this game. Well, that's not entirely true. I take that back. You can retreat. Basically, the combat results table with step losses. So you can retreat to satisfy one part of a step loss. So let's say, for example, you suffer 2 step losses. You can retreat all your defending units 1 hex to reduce that to only 1 step loss. The only problem for the Poles is most of their units only have 1 step. The German units have more, especially the Panzers. There's actually some replacement counters off camera here. Okay, but again, time is of the essence. I want to be able to chew up the Poles and destroy them before the lumbering Soviets can get their butts too far west. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to exit here. So 1, 2, and now this will be triple that, so that's 5. So I'll go into that hex there. So I've got, let's see, 11, 12 to 3. That's 4 to 1. And I've used 5 movement points. So let's see what I can get. 4 to 1 is 3. So that's 1 step loss for each side. Ah, shoot, that means they can retreat 1 hex to satisfy that step loss. But then, yeah, see, the hexes are just a little too small for the units. But then I have to take a step loss somewhere along the line here. Sure. Okay. Alright. So I'll have to flip these guys, I guess. Let's see. Should I try that again and hope for a higher number? That was 5 movement points. I've still got 5 movement points left on these guys here. Let's see. So that would be 7, 9, 10. I want to bring these guys back to here to try to stop anybody from retreating from those hexes. Alright, these guys here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll move them back in through there. Okay, now this armored formation here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to try and butcher these guys again. So what do we got here? 16 and 8 is 24 to 3, 8 to 1. Now, if it's more than 7 to 1, it's automatically enemy eliminated. Okay. So 4, and then 3. Let's see, that's 7 I used so far. I can advance after combat. So that's 7 movement points. I got 2 more movement points left. 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to swing around back here and try to use these infantry to cause some trouble here. I got one more mobile force here in the middle, and then I'll have to start bringing my foot sloggers up after that. Let's see here now. What's the terrain effect for a river? Terrain effect for a river is shift 1 left if everybody's attacking across it. Okay, that's typical. Yeah. Well, there's a gap now almost that I could almost shoot this gap if I wanted. The problem is with my mobile forces, I don't think that I can do that. Although I could use these panzers down here and then use some of the foot sloggers, and they would be allowed to attack. Let's do that. Let's try and bust that wide open. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, you know what? We'll go 7, 8. Alright. So now I'll bring these foot sloggers up. These foot sloggers up. These foot sloggers. I'm just going to use them into there because you can see there's only one step on those guys. Let's see. I'm going to bring these guys into here just to kind of maintain things for the moment, because this is the one area where the poles are kind of strong, and I want to be careful they don't come too far west on me here. Okay, so bring those guys there. Now I got another big decision about what to do here. Should I try to shoot this gap and get behind all these guys? Yeah, I'm going to go for it. Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 4 to exit enemy zone of control. 4 and 3 is 7, so I'll have 3 movement points left. And let's see, I've got 12, 17 to 5, that's 3 to 1. Ah, just missed having. No. Yeah, just 3 to 1. Okay. Come on, man. Need a 6 here. 6 for Deutschland! Oh! I got the opposite, it's a 1. So again, the Poles can retreat to satisfy their loss, and they will. Oh, actually, they were on a forested hex. So, hold on a second. I miscalculated that. So, you know what? We're going to go into here, because I would have had to do that way. So now these guys will retreat. These guys have 3 movement points left. It would cost me all 3 movement points to move one more hex. And then I would have to try to find a way to make sure, because my guys will be out of supply. But being out of supply doesn't eliminate you here, although it is a bit of... You know what? No guts, no glory. Let's move into here. Try to cause some trouble. Okay, now I'll bring this armored unit, this lone Panzer, the 10th Panzer Division. I'm trying to figure out the best place to put them. Because attacking into a forest actually halves your ability when it comes to that. So, let's do this. I'm going to bring these guys into here. 1, 2, and then crossing a river is 3, 4. That's good. That'll basically surround people with zones of control. And then I'm going to bring these foot sloggers down over here. Now the big question is what to do with these armored formations here. I'm not sure, to be honest about it all. Let's see. Because I don't think I'm going to move these guys. I need those guys to reduce that fortress. These guys right now are too weak to do anything else over there. Whew. So it really is critical. What do I do with those panzers? You know, as much as I don't like the idea, I think I'm going to take them north back. I don't like taking them back north. Ugh. Let's see. Well, if I don't mobile assault with them, but I also thought about going down here to this fortification hex, or even this fortification hex. You know what? 1, 2, and then let's see. Fortifications, other terrain. So again, that would be triples. So that's 5. All right, and I've got 8. 4 to 1. That's going to be reduced to 3 to 1. Yep. No, actually, no. It's still 4 to 1. With a 3. So defenders' thing is reduced by 1. Ouch. So the Germans took a hit there. Alright. So that didn't work out. If I try it again, I'm going to have a problem. Sugar. I should have stuck with my initial thought here. Yeah. I should have stuck with my initial thought. Alright. Let's see. No concentric bonus on fortification hexes. Alright, but what I can do, 1, 2, is get a concentric bonus there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can get one there too. Okay. Well, that's at least something. I mean, did I mess this up? I probably did, to be honest. I'm not pretending to be the world's greatest military strategist here. Again, if I was, I would be doing something other than being a stay-at-home dam playing war games with my free time. Okay, so that's all the movement and mobile assaults. So now we'll do prepared assaults, which is just what it sounds like. And again, you know, this is usual stuff, odds-based, not a big deal kind of thing. Okay, so let's see. This is rough terrain. I've got 14, 3, 17. So 17 to 4 is 4 to 1, but it's going to go down to 3 to 1 because of the terrain. And that's a 4. So both sides lose a step. And unfortunately, the Poles can retreat again. I'm going to take the step from the Slovaks. So we'll flip them. And then I'll advance my panzers into this space, hoping next time I can get some stuff done. Alright. I'm not going to attack those guys. I'm going to focus my firepower here on these guys. So that's 6, 11, 21 to 5. That's 4 to 1. That's a 5. Okay, well, they will get reduced by 1 step loss, but they have suffered 2 step losses. It's a 0-2. So, yeah, again, you can see how this kind of gets moved around. And the Poles, most of the Polish units only have 1 step. So that's that. And now I can plunge those guys into here. And that's what I'll do. Okay, so, making some progress. Alright, over here we've got 10, 11... and let's see, 17, 20 to 5. Also 4 to 1. Now they're in a forested hex, but there's no combined arms or panzers. So, this 4 to 1 is a 6. Ooh. Well, good news and bad news. Good news is that Polish unit is completely defeated. The bad news is I got another German unit that's either flipped or lost. I'm just going to eliminate this unit. And I do say eliminate because in this game, there are no replacements. That's it. When you're gone, boys and girls. That's it. So stick a fork in you. Thanks for playing. Here's some nice parting gifts for you. Turtle wax for a shinier turtle. Okay, the good thing is it'll allow me to advance into here next time. But again, time is of the essence here. Alright, so over here, we'll launch this combined attack. Because remember, these guys did not do anything. So that's 11... 16, 26, 31 to 5. 31 to 5 is 6 to 1. So let's see if I can bludgeon these guys down pretty hard. With a high number. It's a 6. Yep, 4 step losses. They definitely cannot handle that. Alright. So, if I can just scrunch up. But again, you know, this is a challenge in this game because remember what I read before. You cannot cut off supply lines just by zone of control. You physically have to do it with units. So I probably should be spreading these out a little bit more, to be honest. You know, but again, I just want to show you how the game plays and how it flows. And if I'm thinking about things as I go in my head, you know, of course I'll share them and all. But yeah, that's probably what I should be doing, is that. Because right now, they can trace to Warsaw pretty well. Let's see, should I launch this attack up here? Let's look. What do I got here? I got 7. That's 20 to 5. That's 4 to 1. I need a 4 or better. It's getting to be a big pocket up there. I'll do it. That way I can try to get some units moved around. Get some concentric. Whoops. Sorry, I have a rule that dice tray has to be empty before I can put the next die down, and I forgot to remove the last die. So it didn't matter. That did not help out the Germans at all. So these guys can satisfy the loss with the retreat, and the Germans will just get rid of this territorial unit here, and then they can advance. You know what? I want to move these guys in. I can try and swing these guys down after that. Okay, so let's see here now. Now down here, I got a couple of ways I can launch some concentric assaults. I can't do it, of course, with these panzers, because remember I did try mobile assaults with those guys and it just didn't work. Alright, but what I think I'm going to do is concentric here, and I guess that's the end of the concentrics this time. So I'm pretty sure, let me just double check, because some games you have to, the attacking units have to cover to be concentric, other ones it just has to have the hexes covered than that. One thing that's very difficult, obviously, you can see here at the beginning, is I don't get any German airplanes until game turn 3 with this particular one, so yeah, it has to be attacked, right? Okay, has to be attacked. Alright, so yep, that's just the way that goes. Alrighty, so let me just double check here. Yeah, German aircraft units and air interdiction are not available for the first 2 game turns. Yeah, that's tricky. That's brutal. Okay, so let's try this up here. So this will be a concentric assault. So this is 7 to 6, which is only 1 to 1, but it'll go up to 2 to 1. I know it's a little risky, but at least I got nowhere to retreat. Oh, it was a bad decision. I should have waited. Even with the concentric, dang it. They both got flipped. That Polish unit just too strong, man. Okay. Alright. That makes me think I should hold off on this other one. Because that's only 8 to 5. That's also going to be... Yeah, you know what? Forget it. We won't even try that. Alright. Down here, we got this big assault on this fortress, but I maybe should let that go until air power comes next turn. Because I've suffered quite a few losses as the Germans right now. And there's a decent amount of Polish defenders. They're 10 factor. Okay, forget it. Alright, well, yeah. So, making some progress. Starting to cut some things off here and there, but not doing so well. As you can see here, it's probably a better idea to spread out some of your units, but of course, you know, for a mobile assault, they have to be in stacks unless you do it as individual units, and that can be tricky too. So, that's that. Alright. So now we're on to the Polish player turn, which basically involves all of the units that are on the Polish player's side. In this case, of course, the Soviets and the Poles combined. Okay, so the whole point here now is to deny things here. Now, there's a reinforcement phase. Nobody gets reinforcements until a little bit later in the game. So let me see here now. Well, as the Poles, I'm thinking I should probably try to get these guys out of here. Maybe line up over here. But try and pull those guys out of that pocket. I didn't do a good job as the Germans sealing that pocket and bring them back towards Warsaw. Down here, this area, I can try and pull these guys back, but these guys are trapped because you can't move directly from enemy zone of control to another enemy zone of control. So the bad news is I do have some units that are trapped. The good news from a defender's perspective is the enemy has to basically reduce you. They have to annihilate you to successfully win the game. So, or to defeat you in that hex, I should say, and actually to win the game too. Alright, so now the question is, what should I do with the Poles? I feel like I do want to ring Warsaw a little bit better. I need to hold on to Lodz for a little bit because the cities are critical for German victory. And then I'm going to start bringing the Soviets just straight across the map from the west over here. I'm just going to start marching them this way and this way. And then these guys I'm going to bring in and swing up through this way here. Maybe try to get to there while I'm at it as well. Okay. We could do that. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let's see what I can salvage here. If I'm going to hold these guys here, though, I really need some more defensive units over here, which I could do. I could try, but then these German units are lingering here, and they will threaten to cut. So forget that idea. Let's pull back who we can. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to leave these guys here. It's basically a way to try and slow them down to speed. But, well, should I let them hold on to Krakow? Let's forget about Krakow. We'll make Krakow an open city. Nah, you know what? Let's leave them behind. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We'll bring them into there. 1, 2, 3. We'll try to use the river there for those guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Try and slow them down as much as possible to keep them from there. Okay. Let's see now. Over here, because I got a couple of strong Polish units. I just don't know where to move them. And I just don't know if there's any good way to counterattack here either. Could I do that? Maybe, huh? Ooh, that would be kind of nasty. I just don't know if I can pull it off. I think I can. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. No, wait. Put him into there. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look at this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to kind of hold that river line there. Same thing there. I'm going to sacrifice these guys here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my, look at that. Ouch. And those German units will be halved because they're completely surrounded right now. Whoops. Yeah, that was a little cavalier on my part, I admit. Boy, can I do the same thing down here? That's a good question. Do I have enough horses? And well, you know what? I'm looking at this, but I really can't, because if I bring these guys this way, that'll leave this wide open. Yeah, I can't. Oh, as much as I'd like to, I'm not going to. So here we go. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 5. Sorry, that's it for those guys. And then I do want to beef up Warsaw from this direction here, and we'll hold that there. I'll save these guys as a mobile reserve, trying to hang on to there. These guys might as well sprint westward because they're not really needed as far as the Soviet border goes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's it cost for a marsh? 3. Holy crap. What's a forest cost? Only 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, we'll move those guys along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now up here, I'm going to bring these guys back into this central area here too. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Move them down into there. I'm going to try and hold on to that flank there. Because I think what I'm going to do with the Lithuanians and the Latvians is threaten Kongsberg up there in the north. Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll wait till they catch up to the Lithuanians. Well, actually, well, yeah, there's enough Polish units they still got to deal with. So 2, 3, and 4. All right, now for the bear. All right. So let's sprint this bear unit ahead here. What's it cost for rough? Rough costs 2. Cavalry is only 1, though. These are cav. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now they can't, Soviet units can't enter Polish fortification, town, or city hexes, and they can't stack with each other either. The Poles can stack, but the Russians can't. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so the Russians are rolling. At least down there they're rolling. Okay, now let's get these combined arms units moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Yes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So, of course, as you can see, the big advantage the Germans have, even with their leg units, is they get 2 more movement factors than any Russian units, except for, of course, the Russian motorized mechanized units. So they're going to rush westward here. That does leave places empty, but I think it's worth the risk. Okay, so the Poles really have 1 attack, but it's a doozy. Alright, so all these German units are going to get halved. Yikes, let's see what happens. So, let's see, that's going to be 4, 7, 9. So that's 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 24 to 9 is... Well, it's only 2 to 1. Well, that sucks. But it's concentric, so it's going to be 3 to 1. Whoops, sorry about the bump. That was probably the German general staff, like panicking with that bump I just did, being like, "What has happened?" Actually, more accurate would be, "Mein Gott!" Alright, let's see what happens here. 3-1 odds. It's a 2. Oh! 1 step loss. Yeah. Not exactly the greatest thing ever, but the Poles don't lose anything either, by the way. So the Germans will have to suffer a step loss. So they're going to flip this this 20th motorized here at the bottom. See what I mean about the counters? They're just a tiny bit too big for the hexes. I like the size of how big they are, but they're just a bit too big. That's it. Alright, I don't think there's any other Polish attacks to do right now. I think that's about it. So now, I've got a German armored formation trapped. Yeesh. And I've got other problems too. But I also have promising things here too. This big, huge spearhead here can cause a lot of damage. I just have to coordinate it with the foot sloggers, but I do have a bunch of those. But I also got to deal with this. So, again, the Germans did overwhelm Poland, but it doesn't mean it's a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. So, alright. So that gives you a good idea, I think, of how the game plays. As far as the mechanisms and stuff like that goes. This game does last 20 turns, so maybe what I'll do is I'll come back in a few turns and shoot another video, show you what's going on, how things are progressing with the Germans and stuff. The Germans do have an airborne unit, but I can't use it until game turn 3 because I don't have any planes, so that's a bit of an issue. Yeah, I should have used my panzers better. I think that much is obvious. Yeah. So. Okay, but again, I think this gives you a good general idea of the game and how it flows with the mechanics. So I'll come back later. We'll take a look a few turns later, see how things are progressing. Maybe after turns 3 and 4, and we'll check and see how that big German spearhead made out, whether that German mechanized unit managed to escape or not. That was a bad blunder on my part as the Germans, on my German part, if you will. So, alright. And I'll give some thoughts, of course, at that time, too, about the game. So, for now, this is Tim Korchnoi from Bare Bones Wargaming, saying thank you for watching, and I'll come back and we'll see, can the Soviets make any kind of huge impact before the German formations manage to chew up and destroy most of the Poles and then free themselves for operation against the Bear. We shall see. Thanks for watching.